11 News starts with breaking news.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Yes, breaking now, a Baldwin couple accused in the overdose death of their one-year-old son have turned themselves in to county police.
Investigators say Thomas Humphreys died earlier this month at his parents' Baldwin home. Tracy Humphreys and Thomas Snellsire are now facing homicide and drug charges after an autopsy showed the baby had fentanyl in his system. Police say they initially were called to Oakleaf Road for an unresponsive baby. They determined, though, the baby had been dead for some time. When police searched the home, they found bricks of heroin, cocaine, and pills. Police also say the couple's 11-year-old son was taken to Children's Hospital and cocaine was found in his system. Outrage boils over after a grand jury did not charge 3 Louisville police officers in the death of Breonna Taylor. In Portland, Oregon, rocks and Molotov cocktails were tossed at riot police. Take a look at this car driving right through a group of protesters in Denver. You can see how close that car came to many of them.
Here at home, though, a peaceful protest was held last night. We followed the protesters from their start at Freedom Corner. In the city at the center, though, of all of this, Louisville, Kentucky, 2 officers were shot overnight. And breaking in just the past hour, a man has been charged with that shooting.
NBC's Blaine Alexander takes us through what led up to the chaotic night.
2 Louisville police officers are recovering, shot during unrest overnight that gripped much of the city's downtown. This gunfire captured in a police live stream in the area where the officers' shooting took place.
Officer down, right there. Officer down.
I am very concerned about the safety of our officers. Obviously, we've had 2 officers shot tonight, and that is very serious. It's a very dangerous condition.
Anger spilling into the streets after the grand jury decision in the Breonna Taylor case. Louisville under a 9 p.m. curfew, the National Guard moving in as police and protesters clashed. Similar emotions echoing in cities nationwide, from Chicago to Atlanta to New York City, even turning violent in Denver and Buffalo, where cars plowed into protesters, and in Portland, where a Molotov cocktail thrown at police caused chaos. Taylor, a 26-year-old former EMT, was shot to death back in March when police with a no-knock warrant entered her apartment. She was inside with her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. He says police never announced themselves. According to the state's attorney general, officers and a civilian witness say they did. Walker thought they were intruders and fired a shot. Police responded with gunfire, killing Taylor. Of the 3 officers involved, only 1 will face charges, but not for Taylor's death. Former Officer Brett Hankison charged with wanton endangerment for firing bullets into Taylor's apartment that ended up in a neighboring apartment. For the other 2 officers, no charges.
According to Kentucky law, the use of force by Mattingly and Cosgrove was justified to protect themselves. There will be celebrities, influencers, and activists who, having never lived in Kentucky, will try to tell us how to feel, suggesting they understand the facts of this case, but they don't.
For many filling the streets.
Was it surprising for you?
No, it's not surprising. Very rarely do black people get justice when it comes to police.
In a scathing statement, attorney Ben Crump, who represents Taylor's family, writes, "How ironic and typical that the only charges brought in this case were for shots fired into the apartment of a white neighbor."
We know that across Louisville, more than 100 people were arrested. Curfew is set to go into effect again tonight at 9 p.m. In Louisville, Kentucky, I'm Blaine Alexander, NBC News.
And we have new information on the victim of a deadly shooting in Homewood. 3 people were shot just after 9 last night on Frankstown Avenue. Investigators say Anthony Williams of Swissvale did not survive. A second victim was found at the Giant Eagle in Penn Hills. He was taken to the hospital in stable condition. No word yet on the condition of the other surviving victim. So far, though, no arrests. Police say a man drove his car into another man after shots were fired at his car in Mount Oliver. According to investigators, Raymond Booth went to a gas station on Brownsville Road after the shots were fired. When he left the gas station, he got into an altercation with another man and then hit him with his car, according to police. That man was treated and released from the hospital. Booth now faces a long list of charges, including assault and DUI.
More residents at a nursing home owned by Westmoreland County have tested positive for coronavirus. Officials at Westmoreland Manor tell us 15 more residents have the virus, bringing the total to 47. 4 workers have also tested positive. That includes 1 additional case since Tuesday. The nursing home will continue to test residents every 3 to 7 days until 2 weeks since the most recent positive test. Officials say most cases are asymptomatic.
And as we wait on a COVID-19 vaccine, UPMC is apparently already preparing for how it would immunize people right here in Pittsburgh. Channel 11's Liz Kilmer is at McGee Women's Hospital with how a flu shot is being used to get them ready.
There's no telling if and when we'll see a COVID-19 vaccine, but UPMC wants to be ready. And today, officials tested out essentially the best way to administer it.
You will feel me pinch your arm, and then you will feel a slight pinch from the needle.
The president of UPMC McGee Women's Hospital seen here on Zoom getting an annual flu shot Thursday morning, part of an initiative called Operation One Shot, where the flu vaccine is rapidly administered. A protocol that's serving 2 purposes this year, not only immunizing staff, but testing out the best way to mass vaccinate the UPMC community if and when we see a COVID-19 vaccine.
We're trying out various approaches so that will set us up so that we can immunize hopefully hundreds of people on a weekly basis at UPMC McGee Women's Hospital.
So what exactly are those approaches? Well, we spoke with another official, and we'll have more from him in a report I'm working on for 5. Back to you.
All right, thank you. The North Allegheny School District is considering sending elementary students back to class 5 days a week. Board members heard from several parents last night. There's going to be a special meeting on Monday to vote on this. The plan also calls for students in grades 6 through 12 to stay in the 2-day hybrid phase for several reasons, including building capacity.
President Donald Trump and the First Lady were greeted with boos and chants of vote him out when they paid their respects to late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg this morning. The president has been respectful since Ginsburg's death, but the two were not fans of each other. Our Jacqueline Fell is in Washington, D.C. with more on the reaction.
President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump, wearing masks, stood at the top of the steps of the Supreme Court, right next to Ruth Bader Ginsburg's casket. At the bottom of the steps, the crowds booed the president. The crowds chanted, "Vote him out and honor her wishes," an apparent reference to Ginsburg telling her granddaughter that her final wish was for the next president to fill her seat. Ginsburg is lying in repose for a second day at the High Court as thousands of admirers mourn the feminist icon. Tomorrow, the late justice will become the first woman to lie in state at the U.S. Capitol. Ginsburg died Friday from complications with cancer. She was 87. President Trump says he'll announce his pick to fill her seat Saturday and that it'll be a woman. Republicans are planning to move ahead with a confirmation hearing for the nominee and a vote possibly before Election Day or soon after. Republicans are vowing to act quickly, despite Democrats' objections that Ginsburg's replacement should be chosen by the next president. Reporting outside Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
President Trump says he believes the election results could wind up in front of the Supreme Court and was asked Wednesday if he would commit to a peaceful transition if he lost the election to former Vice President Joe Biden this fall. The president wouldn't commit to that.
Will you commit to making sure that there is a peaceful transferal of power after the election?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. You know that I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots, and the ballots are a disaster.
The president has repeatedly again made claims that mail-in voting is widely fraudulent, but there is no evidence to prove those claims. Both the president and First Lady have voted by mail in the past, and Republicans, along with the Trump campaign, have urged voters in swing states to request ballots by mail. The Fayette County Republican Committee announced on their website that Sheriff James Custer is switching from Democrat to Republican. Custer's party switch was originally announced by President Trump during his stop in Moon Township Tuesday. A press conference is planned for later today.
Bloomfield taking a hit from the pandemic in another way. Two big celebrations have been put on hold until next year. The Columbus Day Parade and Little Italy Days were both set for next month. Channel 11's Mike Holden spoke with organizers who say there was just no safe way to put on those celebrations this year.
Organizers say this year would have been extra special. For the first time and as long as they could remember, both Little Italy Days and the Columbus Day Parade would have lined right up. But COVID-19 ultimately forced organizers to cancel both. The streets of Bloomfield will sit eerily empty this year. It's a stark contrast when you look at Little Italy Days of years past. Vendors would typically line Liberty Avenue as families celebrated food, art, and their culture. Event organizers say the beloved four-day-long festival has officially been moved to 2021 due to the pandemic. The dates are now tentatively set for August 19th through the 22nd of next year. This year would have been like no other before, though. Had COVID-19 cleared up, the already once postponed Little Italy Days and the Columbus Day Parade would have fallen on the same weekend in October. They're two separate entities, but they were working together. The Columbus Day Parade has now also been put on pause over COVID-19 safety concerns. Organizers say they just couldn't take the chance.
It'd have to be unrestricted. You have to be unlimited people to be able to go to this event because it draws about 100,000 people.
In the need of safety, we have to make sure that we are keeping everybody safe and we're following the guidelines.
And organizers tell Channel 11 they will continue to monitor this pandemic and work to muster up a full-scale plan for the 2021 calendar year. I'm now checking in with them to ask them about the overall impact of not having this event and what this means for businesses in the area. For Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting in Bloomfield, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
State lawmakers did not override the governor's veto on crowd restrictions at youth sports, but one school district is letting fans in anyway. Why the district says it's better for the students.
It will definitely be cut down in thousands of people.
Fall festivals canceled. What one pumpkin patch is doing to make sure you can still make a jack-o'-lantern this Halloween.
Quiet, mostly cloudy and mild right now. Up next, more details about sunshine and our next chance for rain and a warm up on the way.
Well, after our building blew up and then it was still burning all night.
A devastating fire destroyed local businesses. How the community has rallied around this restaurant and the menu addition to honor everything they've been through.
Nobody can read between the lines.
She's an 18-year-old girl. She got a settlement. You saw a little money. You wanted a big red truck.
Like Judge Judy.
Shiny, shiny, shiny red truck.
Judge Judy, weekdays at 4 and 4:30 on Channel 11. You're streaming WPXI now. Channel 11 expands its streaming live newscasts. When other stations are national, Channel 11 News is local, right here at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on WPXI Now.
When you want news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News at 5.
Just 1 year ago, their business was destroyed. A popular restaurant reduced to nothing but debris and ashes following a fierce fire. Well, now a new challenge, reopening in the middle of a pandemic. It's been a long year for all of us, but it's been especially hard for Stan Mikulski. As our Amy Hudak shows us, Stan is not going to let anything stand in his way when it comes to getting back to business.
I called my manager and I said, "Are we on fire?"
Stan Mikulski had the night off that Friday, but when his wife called saying a friend heard on a police scanner their restaurant was on fire, he got there as fast as he could.
I had to park way up here because there were just trucks everywhere.
The smoke rolled out of the roof, underneath a whole plaza of businesses. The flames of the gas-fueled fire shot into the night sky and burned all night long, leaving nothing but blackened debris behind.
The next thing you know, our building is leveled. The whole complex was leveled.
Now, more than a year later,
so I said,
Big Shot Bob's is back open. Mikulski's team fought through fire and a pandemic, but their kitchen is open and customers are coming.
It was tough because I went through a rough time there.
The menu is the same with one new addition, a signature sauce.
After the store burned down the first time, after we found out everybody was safe, a buddy of mine from another store made up a sauce. The roof is on fire.
It's honey mustard, Arizona heat, and Cajun.
It looks like flames.
Mikulski says after everything they've been through, keeping things lighthearted keeps them going.
So I think we're going to do just fine.
Amy Hudak, Channel 11 News.
Do you know what secrecy envelopes are? If not, you need to learn, because if you want your mail-in vote to count this election, you absolutely need to have one. Pennsylvanians have been encouraged to apply for mail-in ballots because of the pandemic. But last week, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled that in November, ballots missing that extra layer of privacy won't be counted. The secrecy envelope prevents anyone who's counting votes from knowing who you voted for.
When we open the outside envelope, all these little inside envelopes are all mixed together. So then when we start opening these, no one could ever determine whose ballot is who.
Also, before you put your ballot in an approved drop box or in the mail, make sure you sign it and date it and print your address. We have more information on what you need to do to make sure your vote counts. Just visit the Decision 2020 section on WPXI.com.
And some of you will be voting in the big race for Pennsylvania's 17th congressional district. Incumbent Democrat Congressman Connor Lamb and Republican challenger Sean Parnell are facing off in a very highly watched race. Lamb was part of the blue wave in the 2018 midterm elections, and Parnell is a retired Army Ranger who got into the race when President Trump called on him to run. And we are excited because both of them will be in our studios this Saturday for their first debate of the campaign season. And we hope you'll join us Saturday, 7 o'clock, right here on Channel 11 and the WPXI Now app.
A Pensacola man rode out Hurricane Sally on his sailboat on the Saturday before the storm. Experienced Captain Robert Faulkner and his shipmate anchored Moby, a sailboat, onto the shore of Fort McCree. The plan was to ride out the storm there, but as the hurricane shifted, they were right in the path of Sally. Wind started to pick up and the boat started moving. The captain says rain was horizontal and his survival instincts kicked in.
You really aren't afraid. You just are very engaged and alive, and you fear for your life, of course.
Before he knew it, they had gone over the seawall. The boat came ashore between two homes, and that's when they jumped off the boat and ran to safety.
You're
your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
Happy Thursday. Kind of quiet here, but what you see around our southeastern states is the remnants of Beta creating a lot of rain right now. Right now, just a big rainmaker throughout portions of the southeast, including Alabama, Mississippi, into western Georgia there. A good bit of Tennessee, all the way into the Carolinas. Now, high pressure keeping that rain away, but we are looking kind of cloudy outside. Now, we are expected to get more breaks in the cloud cover as we go toward the evening hour. So seeing peaks of sunshine right before sunset, but again, good bit of cloud cover, nothing falling from the clouds in our neck of the woods. And we are expected to continue on with that dry stretch of weather as we go throughout the rest of this work week. But into the weekend, we could see a shower or two with better rain chances on the way next week. More about that in just a moment. Here's what it looks like outside right now. Notice the haziness. So we still have that haziness from the West Coast fires, the smoke coming our way through the jet stream, so we're kind of getting some of that smoke overhead. So kind of hazy along with the mostly cloudy conditions. Right now, 66 degrees. Temperature is not bad at all for your lunchtime hour. 71 in Beaver, 67 in Butler, 68 in Greensburg, and Somerset, the cool spot at 63 degrees. We will reach near 80 degrees as we go toward the end of the work week for your Friday. So temperatures above average for this time of year. We do have a cool down on the way, but before that, we're looking to get some rain again as we go into your Sunday and Monday. So we will be eventually breaking that dry streak that it seems like we just can't break, even with the extra clouds that we see in the sky. Now, for the rest of your afternoon, if you want to go sit outside for lunch, maybe have a picnic, looking pretty good around 3 o'clock, 77 degrees, not too hot, not too cold, just right. That's what I call the 70s. Now, much cooler air is on the way as we go into next week, thanks to another cold front. So at the beginning of the week, Sunday, a cold front will approach and then move through, creating showers late Sunday into Monday. And coming up in the next half hour, I will go hour by hour with our latest storm tracker and show you just when your neighborhood could be getting showers. But the second cold front on Tuesday, that's going to deliver a blast of cold air into the area, really cooling things down. So we go from above average for the rest of this week to well below average going into the next. Now, our 5-day forecast not really showing that cooler air coming on Tuesday, but I did want to give you a sneak peek because maybe the 80s during fall, not your cup of tea. Cooler air is on the way, so get your sweaters back out. 77 again today, back into the 80s. Tomorrow, 81, paired for Saturday and Sunday. Weekend always in view for your Sunday evening shower or two. Most stay dry on Sunday. Monday gives us the better rain chance with scattered showers, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm with a cooler temperature, 75 degrees.
Thanks, Jessica. Changes to a big event at Pittsburgh International. How tonight's auction of abandoned cars will go on despite the pandemic.
And Pittsburgh Public Schools joins a lawsuit against the makers of e-cigarettes. How they say it led to problems in schools.
Breaking News Desk is really an invaluable tool.
You're going to get breaking news as it's happening. You can be assured that everything I tell you is something that's important, that's going to impact your day.
We have an anchor now dedicated to following the latest information as it comes in.
I know the neighborhoods, I know the school districts, and that really helps to inform you so that you know if something is going to impact your family.
As soon as she gets that information, the Breaking News Desk is able to go on air, bring that information to you and share it.
That is a resource no one else has. If you see me on the Breaking News Desk, you know it's an important story.
Watch Channel 11 News at 6.
Followed by NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
Pittsburgh Public is joining other schools around the country in suing Juul, the e-cigarette maker. Our news partners at the Trib learned the school board voted to hire a lawyer last night. About 70 districts nationwide are suing Juul and other makers of the popular devices. They claim the companies unfairly targeted young people. The state education department says Pittsburgh schools recorded 135 arrests or citations for tobacco or vaping in 2018 and 19. That was up from 56 the year before. North Hills, McKeesport, and Butler schools are also part of the lawsuit.
The city of Pittsburgh and the Urban Redevelopment Authority are spending $100,000 on improvements to Esser's Plaza. The Southside Community Council is working to revitalize the plaza on 12th Street as a place for neighbors to come together.
I truly believe that we're standing here today because of the URA's involvement in our community and understanding how important Esser Plaza is to Southside's future.
The project will include new lighting, green areas, seating, and paving. Pittsburgh International Airport will hold its annual auction tonight, but this year it's online only. These are some of the abandoned cars and used airport vehicles that will be auctioned off. Typically, clothes left at the airport are also up for auction, but because of the pandemic, they're being donated. Tonight's auction starts at 6.
Definitely be cut down in thousands of people.
Fall festivals canceled. What one pumpkin patch is doing to make sure you can still make a jack-o'-lantern this Halloween.
State lawmakers did not override the governor's veto on crowd restrictions at youth sports, but one school district is letting fans in anyway. Why, the district says it's better for the students.
Every candidate, every voice, every vote matters. From the campaign trail to your backyard, we're talking to the candidates about the big issues and to the voters who will decide the election. Channel 11 News, Decision 2020 coverage you can count on. WPXI Now. When a major story breaks, this is where you'll find 24-hour coverage. From the Channel 11 newsroom to our crews live in the field, we'll bring you the information you need right now. WPXI Now. Always on when you want the latest on breaking news. Watch Catherine Amenta and Gordon Lesh on Channel 11 Morning News.
They tried, but they fell short. House Republicans did not have the votes to override Governor Tom Wolf's veto of a bill that would have given school districts the power to make decisions on their sports. That impacts whether parents can watch their kids play. Some schools, though, are still moving forward. Hempfield, for instance, will open its football and volleyball games to fans. Channel 11's Melanie Gillespie found out how they plan to do it safely.
Hempfield School District is the biggest school district in Westmoreland County and has one of the biggest stadiums, fitting over 6,000 people inside normally. Now, Hempfield is now letting more fans in the stands for both home and away athletes for all fall sports across the board.
Our goal, again, remain safe, remain healthy, but try to offer as much normalcy as what we can for students.
Hempfield Area School District is at the peak of its fall sports season. Amid COVID restrictions, it's been a challenging start for both academics and athletics.
So we've been able to stay at 250 up to this point, but unfortunately, we had to have our marching band perform prior to the competition in the past, so they were not able to be here. We had some limitations with our cheerleading.
But Friday nights are going to look a little bit more normal now. After the governor's COVID restrictions were ruled unconstitutional by a judge, Hempfield is giving each student athlete 2 tickets to their games, home and away.
Our stadium holds a little over 6,000, and we would anticipate that we can provide, enough media coverage, tickets to all the spectators, and we still would be roughly around 1,000 individuals in the stadium total.
I think the governor said it right when he said local schools should make the decisions of whether to be in session and whether to be remote or a combination. So why wouldn't we do it with these other activities? It only seems to me, common sense to be consistent with that message.
Despite the House failing to overturn Governor Wolf's veto on letting school districts decide on the amount of spectators, Hempfield says putting more fans in the stands is only benefiting the students.
I think it's not only important for mom and dad and grandma and grandpa to be able to be here and support their their students, but it's also important for those students to see those familiar faces in the stands, have those folks cheering them on.
Reporting in Westmoreland County, I'm Melanie Gillespie for Channel 11 News.
A bar in Westmoreland County plans to reopen tomorrow after being shut down for 2 weeks. The state suspended the liquor license for the Tin Lizzy Tap Room and Restaurant in Youngstown. State agents claim the bar violated numerous health regulations put in place to slow the spread of coronavirus. And they're not alone. Tin Lizzy is one of 11 businesses across the state that had their liquor license suspended. A former church administrator in Upper St. Clair has been charged by the federal agents. Investigators say David Ryder did not pay taxes and filed false income tax returns. Ryder is already serving time for stealing from Westminster Presbyterian Church. Investigators say the money was used to pay for things like vacations and tickets to sporting events.
Pittsburgh Catholic Bishop David Zubik sent a letter to the diocese about this upcoming November election. He urged Catholics to build a better society by exercising their right to vote. Bishop Zubik said in part, quote, "Our vote is one that must be viewed as a moral decision." Zubik also warned that political materials are not allowed to be distributed on church or parish property. Campaign signs stolen from several yards, just thrown into the woods. And right now, police are putting out a warning. If they find who is responsible, they're going to be prosecuted. This is happening in Shaler Township. You can see several Biden campaign signs littered throughout the area. We checked the Shaler Police Facebook page, and a lot of people have left comments there wondering why somebody would do that instead of just voicing their opinion at the ballot box. Officers are asking people to respect their neighbor's choice, even if it's not their own.
President Donald Trump has said he expects to have a coronavirus vaccine available to the public around Election Day. John Lawrence explains why that might result in a face-off with a federal agency.
The Food and Drug Administration says no COVID-19 vaccines will be approved without passing its safety checks.
Science will guide our decisions,
FDA will not permit any pressure from anyone to change that.
Sources tell CNN the FDA is thinking about stricter guidelines for emergency authorization of a vaccine, much to President Trump's annoyance.
We're looking at that. That has to be approved by the White House. We may or may not approve it. That sounds like a political move.
An FDA official confirmed to CNN that such guideline changes do go through the Office of Management and Budget Review. This comes as recent polls show Americans are skeptical about the vaccine process. One member of the White House's coronavirus task force says he's willing to be vaccinated.
If a vaccine that's shown to be and proven to be and authorized by the FDA to be safe and effective, I certainly would take that vaccine, and I would recommend to my family that they take that vaccine.
President Trump says he has faith in the research underway and says the sooner a vaccine is available, the better.
When they come back and they say that we have something that works and absolutely works, and they're coming back with great numbers and statistics and tests and everything else that they have to come back with, I don't see any reason why it should be delayed further.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Plans to build a research and development center in Pittsburgh are on hold. According to our partners at the Pittsburgh Business Times, employees with Zoom video communications are still going to work from home until at least next summer. So there's no timetable yet for when they will return to an office, but Zoom is still hiring in the city. Allegiant Airlines is expanding its flights to dozens of cities, including Pittsburgh. Due to customer demand, the airline is extending flights between Pittsburgh and Nashville. It's one of 29 flights being expanded. The extra flights will start in February and last through the end of April. Clouds are clearing out. It's going to feel a lot like summer again as we head into the weekend.
How about that? Meteorologist Jessica Faith has her forecast now at Severe Weather Center 11. Jess?
Yeah, we are going to warm up today and into the weekend well above average, but a blast of cold air does await us going into next week. So it will return back to fall-like conditions going into next week. We just will be on the warm side. Also on the cloudier side right now, taking a look, satellite radar, we are looking dry, nothing falling from the clouds, but still a good bit of cloud cover in place right now. Some of that cloud cover thinning out though as we head throughout the rest of the day. Those temperatures warming up, kind of pushing near 80 today, but still in the upper 70s, 77 degrees for the high. We will get into the lower 80s by this weekend with rain chances on the way for Sunday and Monday. More details about what to expect and when we'll see some wet weather again in your neighborhood coming up in about 10 minutes.
And a warning about cleaners in your home, the type of accident that is sending the most kids to the hospital.
How you'll soon be able to place bets inside PPG Paints Arena.
I like people to be honest, not stupid.
Nobody brings the truth to life.
Is that what you want me to believe?
Nobody can read between the lies.
I'm 5'9", and I have a body like Christy Brinkley. Do you believe that?
Like Judge Judy.
She's an 18-year-old girl. She got a settlement. You saw a little money. You wanted a big red truck. Shiny, shiny, shiny red truck. I still love this job.
Judge Judy, weekdays at 4 and 4:30 on Channel 11.
What's new?
What's now? And what's next? Every morning
on Channel 11 Morning News.
We have an important reminder for parents who are making that extra effort to sanitize around the house. Keep those cleaning products away from your little ones. A new report from Safe Kids Worldwide shows that calls to poison help hotlines have just skyrocketed since the pandemic began. In fact, there's been a 70% increase in hand sanitizer exposures alone, largely due to containers that look like water bottles, kids' food pouches, and cans. Among all cleaners, bleaches accounted for the largest rise in calls. Experts say all household cleaning products should be stored in their original containers, and they should be kept out of reach of children. Take a look at the number we have up on the screen. It is for poison control. If you or your child does have an accidental exposure to one of those cleaning products, you need to call that number right away.
The North Hills DUI Task Force wants drivers to know there will be another roving patrol this weekend. The task force includes officers from 13 communities. Since the task force began 17 years ago, it has conducted 228 roving patrols. 2,100 people have been tested for DUI, and 953 of those people have been arrested. Place your bets. Rivers Casino is partnering with the Penguins to build a sports book inside PPG Paints Arena, and this is what it will look like. Fans will be able to watch the game while placing bets. The arena will remove 2 rows of seating to build the new lounge.
Fall is here, but with festivals canceled, it may not feel like it.
We love the fall festivities, pumpkin patches, apple picking.
What One Orchard is doing to make sure those traditions don't go away.
The southeast getting rain, but when is it our turn? Coming up in about 5 minutes, I'll show you the latest storm tracker.
Channel 11 Morning News brings you what's happening now.
I'm live here on the breaking news desk working to find out what happened.
What's new and what's next.
Shutdown orders were unconstitutional. What does this ruling impact?
Count on Channel 11 News every morning. You're streaming WPXI Now, your source for original local shows. Check out the intense, action-packed world of esports. Top plays and interviews on Esports Weekly, Saturday and Sunday at 10 a.m. and 7:30 p.m. on WPXI Now.
Nobody can read between the lines like Judge Judy.
From picking apples to choosing just the perfect pumpkin, the coronavirus has really put a damper on our favorite fall activities. Channel 11's Joe Arena found out how it's impacting family businesses that really depend on this season.
On most years, the fall provides great weather for outdoor activities. Obviously, this year, things are a little different. But here at Sorgel's, the show will go on in some capacity.
It also is nicer because it's not quite so crowded.
Amy Sorgel is taking the optimistic approach this fall. Her family's business in Wexford that attracts thousands every fall will still be a place for family fun this year, just not quite offering all they normally would. This year, the Orchard will not be having its very popular Fall Festival.
Canceling the Fall Festival was a decision that wasn't easy to make, but one that we made in just an abundance of caution to make sure that we were able to still provide something that was safe.
And it's measures like these that Amy says gives them peace of mind while being open, while also providing some sense of normalcy for families.
We are still opening our pumpkin patch and our apple picking. This year it's 7 days a week. Last year it was just weekends. This year we're doing 7 days a week to allow people the opportunity to come at different times.
We saw a lot of people taking advantage of the opportunity, like Cherie Slater.
We love the fall festivities, pumpkin patches, apple picking, just letting the kids get out, hay rides, etc. So I'm really glad that they're open right now.
And while the family business will take a hit on customers this year,
it will definitely be cut down in thousands of people.
So far, Amy says business hasn't suffered much. In fact, last weekend, they had to slow things down for a spell.
We had to close our patch at one point, just a small line formed.
And while the biggest fall activity, trick-or-treating, is still being mulled over as safe or not by some, places like McCandless and Cranberry Township are allowing the festivities to go on, but ultimately say it's a decision for parents to make this October 31st. In Wexford, Joe Arena, Channel 11 News.
And we have extra coverage for you online, including the trick-or-treat times for dozens of communities. Go to WPXI.com, search for trick-or-treat.
In 15 years, the state of California will put the brakes on selling all new cars and trucks that run on gas. The governor signed an executive order requiring all new cars sold in California be zero emission by 2035. He said the goal is to fight climate change, but that gas cars will not be banned from the roads.
You can still keep your internal combustion engine car. You can still have a market for used cars. You can still trade and transfer those cars. We're not taking anything away. We're providing an abundance of new choices and new technology.
He went on to say that the moves will lead to economic opportunities and new jobs down the line.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Happy Thursday for the rest of your afternoon. It will be mostly cloudy, decrease in cloud cover though, so seeing more peaks of sunshine right before sunset. A pretty warm day, especially for the end of September. 77 degrees for the high. Hey, for your Friday will be even warmer, especially as we go into the weekend. Now, unfortunately, nothing falling from those clouds in our neck of the woods. You may see a good bit of green. That's the remnants of beta affecting mostly the southeastern states, but that is staying away thanks to high pressure. We will continue to be dry, so our dry spell continues today and into tomorrow. Here's the latest drought monitor released this morning showing that we still have counties that are shaded in the abnormally dry category. That is 1 out of 5, so not that bad. We have been actually in a moderate drought going into last month, so we have been improving our drought conditions, but we could still use a lot more rain. Here's a rainfall outlook, and for today, tomorrow, into the first half of the weekend, completely dry, not expecting any rain. What we're going to have is a cold front to approach and then eventually move through the area, increasing our chances for showers for late Sunday. Only giving us an isolated rain chance. Now, that could be good news for you who have outdoor plans on Sunday, but really not good news as far as the rain, because we definitely need much more. We are expected to get more rain, though, going into your Monday, but throughout the first half of the day, looking completely dry for your morning plans. Into the afternoon, more of that cloud cover building in, isolated rain chances. Again, not an overwhelming rain chance, so even though you may see some green that may show up in your area, likely not going to last long, but we do increase rain chances overnight into early Monday morning, so definitely have your rain gear before heading out the door on your Monday. and rain chances will continue. Expecting scattered showers and even a few isolated thunderstorms possible throughout your day on Monday. And here's a reminder that cooler air is on the way. I was talking about unusually warm temperatures for this time of year that we're going to see today into the weekend, but another cold front will be coming through on Tuesday. Just to give you a sneak peek here, bringing us some pretty cold air, making us go from above normal to below normal for most of next week. But at least for the next 5 days, we do stay on the warmer side of the spectrum. Staying dry for today, tomorrow, and Saturday. A few evening showers on Sunday. Again, isolated rain chance. Best next chance for showers really comes on Monday, where we could see scattered showers, a few isolated thunderstorms, non-severe right now. Continue to check back with us for the latest on that forecast. Temperatures rising to the weekend and dwindling down into the work week.
And now here's local Steals and Deals, Lisa Robertson.
Hey, Lisa Robertson here with Local Steals and Deals, and this is one of the most popular ideas we have ever brought you. These are the Lotus trolley bags. Now, these are really cool grocery bags that allow you to be organized, efficient, carry things better, know where things are, not throw things away, throw things in the washing machine so you know where they came from. You get the idea. 4 amazing grocery bags, and here's how they work. Number 1, you're going to get this one, which is insulated. How great is that? You're also going to get one with sleeves and organization for eggs and a bottle of wine, because you know you're going to need that, as well as other things. You get 2 of the general purpose bags, but I just walk in the grocery store, right? Open it up, put it right in the cart. Now I have all 4 bags in the cart. Everything's organized as I'm picking it up and going, oh, the frozen food goes in the insulated. Oh, the eggs go here. And oh, the produce goes there. So now everything's organized. It's easy for me to see what I've gotten. It's easy for me to get in and out of the grocery store more quickly. And each of these bags carries up to 70 pounds. So when I'm going to my car, I put it over my shoulder. I'm supporting it with my whole body, not trying to be all the way out here. And I know what I have, I get it home easily, and I know where it came from. This isn't something where I'm walking in a store and I'm touching something everybody else. No, these are my bags from my house that came out of my washing machine. And how fabulous is that? By the way, right now my social life is pretty much limited to the grocery store, so I like to really look like a rock star when I go in. You should see the look on people's faces when I walk by with all 4 of these in my cart. They're like, whoa, what's up, right? It's awesome. These are one of the best ideas ever. You know you got a grocery shop. You know you want to be organized. You know you don't want to have a million extra things laying around. And you know you want to bring your bags to do it even better. Right now, if you go to localsteals.com, you can get these for 34% off. And by the way, they do great produce bags. You can find those on there as well. Great idea. Everybody needs it. I know you're going to love it.
Channel 11 Morning News brings you what's happening now.
Tiny molecule might make a big difference.
Could not only treat COVID-19, but keep people from catching it.
What's new?
Mike Holden with these new comments from the governor.
4 specific measures for the upcoming election.
And what's next?
Governor Tom Wolf's shutdown orders were unconstitutional. What's next, and what does this ruling impact?
We are dealing with some smoke, though. You might have noticed the hazy sky.
Count on Channel 11 News for live coverage every morning.
Watch The Kelly Clarkson Show weekdays at 1 p.m. right here on Channel 11.
It's a new trend that we've been seeing. Neighborhood hospitals are popping up, and that could really cut down the time it takes to get help during an emergency. The latest one serves people in Harmer and surrounding communities. It was built along Freeport Road at the intersection with Guys Run Road. There yesterday, and we got a look inside. It has 2 stories with 10 beds and 10 inpatient beds.
As we're standing here in the Route 28 corridor, you know, when Route 28 gets backed up and busy, having a place to go that's just within 10 minutes will be a lifesaver for some people.
The hospital should be ready for patients by next month.
Coffee Mate wants to make your coffee taste more like coffee. In January, the company will introduce Unlocked by Coffee Mate. The line of coffee-flavored creamers will come in classic Colombian and Italian espresso varieties. Coffee Mate says it will cut the bitterness of traditional black coffee and add the creamy richness and the taste of a gourmet roast to your mug. There you go.
Coffee that tastes like coffee.
Who'd have thought?
Okay. Anyway, that's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast comes up tonight at 5.
Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Channel 11 News investigates and digs deeper.
Restaurants can double capacity from 25% to 50%.
But there is a catch.
The damage has been done.
Decision that impacts